Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sandy, could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers.
Here.
Allenboss.
Present.
Ingalls.
Here.
King.
Here.
Mayor Filkins.
Here. And at this time, if we could have a motion to approve the agenda as it's been presented this evening.
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Allenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. We'll go ahead and open the floor for our first public comment this evening, and we do ask if you come forward to state your name, and then if you would write your name and your address for the clerk, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you could keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment and move to the approval of the consent agenda. And this evening, we do have the minutes from our meeting that was held on October 2nd, 2023, along with the closed session minutes on the same date.
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Support.
Councilmember Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Allenboss.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. And this evening, we have a community spotlight. So Marcus, would you like to introduce that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. This evening we have Mike Filkins here representing the Cadillac Craft Beer Festival to share with us some information about this past year's fest. Mike?
Good evening. I wanted to take a moment soon after our very successful event to thank the City of Cadillac, City Council, members of the staff for the significant contribution that they make to us being able to have a festival. First of all, City Park is not just convenient and downtown, it's a beautiful space. It's always in exceptional condition, and we receive an enormous amount of support. How many picnic tables do you need? There's 6 down there now. Well, we could use 15 more. Okay. There's only 3 trash cans, and we have 1,800 people coming to our tailgate. Okay, we'll bring more trash cans. As Marcus and Sandy can tell you, sometimes getting a liquor license can be interesting. And when they added the social district, it created a whole nother level of rules and regulations that were required, and the assistance that the city staff provided in making that, I won't say it was easy, but it certainly went very well, and we got the required paperwork that we needed. So just on behalf of the 15 people who are members of the planning committee, I wanted to come to you guys and just thank you, everybody involved with the city, in making it possible for us to hold a festival that fills hotel rooms, fills restaurants, and it was a wonderful time. So thank you.
Okay. Sandy, we have an appointment this evening?
Yes, it's being recommended to approve the reappointment of Greg Bosher to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term to expire on October 16th, 2026.
I'd make a motion to approve the reappointment of Greg Bosher to the Planning Commission for a 3-year term to expire on October 16th, 2026.
Support.
Councilmember King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Allenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. That takes us to the manager's report.
Thank you. Mayor and members of the City Council, as Council may or may not recall, it's been quite some time ago, but the city was successful in getting a grant through the State Land Bank Blight Elimination Program, frankly a micro type grant, for the purpose of taking down the former Water Operations Center. This is the facility that is now vacant at the original Wellfield site in the original Cadillac Industrial Park area. We did receive bids accordingly for the removal of said facility, with the lowest bidder in the list being Dunbar Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $19,500. We do have more than adequate enough funds in the Blight Award that we had received to cover that expense, and the recommendation this evening is to use Dunbar Excavating to do the work. I do want to mention that there are some asbestos materials on site. That company is licensed to remove those materials, and there is some additional cost associated with that, but it's anticipated to be minor.
One second. Is there any thoughts of what we're going to do with the property? Has that been, no ideas?
No ideas.
Just take it down, see what happens?
Take it down would
Okay.
be the next step in this process, and
All
then,
right.
you know, eventually getting the property ready, hopefully for some type of redevelopment activity would be a goal that we would want to talk to City Council about.
All right, thank you.
And I'll make a motion to award the building demolition services project for the former Water Department headquarters building to Dunbar Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $19,500.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers.
Yes.
Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and the members of the City Council. This next item is a request that came forward through our Visitors Bureau, and our director did send along her apologies for not being able to make it this evening, but the request is for City Council to approve basically a standard resolution of support regarding a marketing and branding initiative for the M55 corridor. As you'll see in your packet, the correspondence does include the sample resolution that has been customized for Cadillac, as well as the correspondence that our Visitors Bureau received when they received the request with respect to the branding and marketing of the M55 corridor. And I can do my best to try to answer any questions you may have, but it basically will try to frame it as a recreational byway.
And it's something that visitors bureaus across the state are having to go to every individual city, village along the way, that 55 corridor, to get this put into place. So there's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes.
And just some of the very quick background, as it states in the letter, it started out with the Houghton Lake Area Tourism Bureau trying to create an M55 recreational heritage route. And so it's now grown into this. There's no cost to the city. It's simply our support of the naming or nicknaming of it as such.
I like the coast to coast on MI 55.
Yeah.
That's,
You know, and
that's-
eventually there may be some signage and marketing materials that we'll see, and Cadillac will be a part of that.
Right. I think it's a great idea. I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution of support for M55 coast to coast on MI 55 recreational heritage route designation.
Support.
Second. Two of them.
Councilmember Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. And that brings us to our second public comment this evening. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close public comment and move to the good of the order, should anyone have anything.
I do. The Cadillac Mayor's Youth Council is meeting this Wednesday in these chambers. It is a group of young people. I know I sound like I repeat this all the time, but high school aged citizens of the city of Cadillac volunteer to be part of an organization that brings projects and things that are geared toward youth in the community. If you are or know of someone in this age group who is interested, you can pick up applications here at the city offices or online, and please come to our meeting if you're interested. It's at 3 o'clock this Wednesday, every third Wednesday of the month.
Thank you.
I have a couple things. My wife and I walked by the beer festival when it was going on, and it really has taken off. Very impressive. Good job. I wish I drank. but I don't.
You
could
wish
go-
you did.
There
Yeah.
are non-alcoholic
Is there?
options now.
Oh boy, you didn't tell me that. Okay, good job though. Everybody looked like they're having a good time. Great turnout. One other quick question to the big guy over there, Marcus. Marcus?
Yeah.
You gotta look at me.
I'm listening.
Any update on short-term rentals? Any progress? Anything you can tell anybody? Are we still there or where are we?
Okay, I will
Put
try
you on
not
the
to
spot,
ramble.
aren't I? Yeah.
I will try not to ramble.
Okay, good.
So our development director is working with Foster Swift and trying to get the ordinance ready to go for the planning commission. This is the ordinance that council had asked for us to do in terms of codifying our current practice. We have one of the lawsuits off of Sunnyside, the property sold, and the lawsuit was then subsequently dismissed. And we did send a letter to the new property owners, and we know of this information because we received a copy of the closing docs or something to that degree. Mike can probably clarify, just making them aware of what had transpired with that property insofar as this was being, it was under a lawsuit, and that this use is not permitted, and FYI, thanks for coming into town, but you can't do this use here if that's what you're planning on using the property for. So that's the biggest update that I have on it.
Okay, thank you.
So, yep, you're welcome.
I have, as I promised the public, I keep diving into the proposed new zoning ordinance that's on our city website. I wanted to make sure I let everybody know the concerns I'm having as I'm reading it, so people can look into it and decide if this is what we want. Right now, the proposed ordinance would get rid of R1. It would break up R1 into 3 zones, small, medium, and large. And it would allow such things that are not allowed now as transitional housing facilities by special use, so homeless shelters in our R1 neighborhood designations. It would allow daycare group homes. It would allow qualified residential treatment centers in our R1 neighborhoods. It would allow bed and breakfast facilities, it's kind of a hotel type operation. All of these things are not currently allowed now. All of these things have been spoken to by many of our residents as not something that we want in this district or this type of district. It also would allow owner-occupied rooming houses. We need to ask ourselves, and I want the public to give us our feedback, is this what we want our city staff resources spent on? Is submitting to our planning commission something that would wipe out our R1, our neighborhoods that are single family, and increase the density by allowing these type of group home operations. I think I said before, this type of ordinance has been used in big cities where some of their residential areas are completely vacant. So we're talking about blocks of areas, and you're talking about raising houses, and this ordinance is used to be able to say, all right, that's no longer an R1 type neighborhood. We can raise this and put up things of greater density, meaning more people in that area. It is extremely concerning to me that all these operations are being submitted to be proposed in single family residential areas. If the public remembers, we had an issue on a homeless housing shelter that was proposed at the end of South Street right by Family Fair, and the public spoke out strongly, and I think it worked out well. It moved to the across the street from the sheriff's department. I think it's doing very well there. That's the purpose of zoning, is to keep the character of our neighborhoods and not change the character. This is something I think people need to be aware of. I think they need to contact us. I'm really concerned that these proposals, especially after all the public feedback on these types of uses, has been spoken to by our citizens, and they're going to be submitted to be allowed. So am I ringing an alarm bell? I am, and that alarm bell is citizen participation. And I think, again, we as council, I'm hoping our other council members are reading this, because I would like to be able to give our staff direction that says, yeah, this isn't what we want to do to our core neighborhoods. This would mean in the historic district, you could have a group treatment home, you could have a homeless shelter, you could have a daycare group home. Are they important? Yes. But that's what zoning's about. Where do we put them? We don't take our highest and best use neighborhoods, our single family dwellings where our families are coming in, working for our industry, working for our business with their children, and say that we're going to open them up. I think our constituents have said, we don't want these things. So I think we need to look at it critically before it gets out of hand. Thank you.
And do we have an actual scheduled work session coming up, or just days floating out
Just
there?
some days that are floating. So if you guys can let Sandy know what works best for you, that'd be perfect. We're looking at, I think, the 30th or the 8th. So,
I'm available for either.
yeah, just,
I won't be available on the 8th.
okay. So 30th. Does that work
I'll
for you?
let you know.
I'm out of town for my daughter's wedding.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll go back to the schedule.
Yeah, I just think it was important to point out that, you know, we need a time to sit around the table and hash
Yeah.
out, like you said, and that a work session is in the works in the very near future. So.
Are we talking about the same work session? Because there was a okay. All right. Because there was a work session that we still owed you that I
And
want
this was
to.
one of those topics.
Okay. All right. So we're going to commingle that
I think so.
discussion? Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Then we'll go ahead and adjourn. Thank you.